Welcome back everyone, Mindy with Mindy Eggen Design, and today I'm sharing a card I created using some products from Heffy Doodle, and this is called Elfish Antics. This is a super cute set. It has these little images on here, the elves present, and these really cute sentiments, and the one that caught my attention was naughty or nice. I thought that was adorable, and the font is really nice and simple too. So I'm starting off by coloring in all my images. So I stamped a few of these out onto Neenah Solar White cardstock with a Copic friendly ink. And I will have all the colors listed at the top as well that I'm using. So for the skin, I'm using E04, E11, and E00. This is a simplified version of what I would typically do for coloring for my skin tone, especially since these are smaller images. For larger images, I actually like to use 3 to 4 ink blends, but I did simplify it down because of the size of these. So a little while ago, Heffy Doodle had contacted me asking if I would like to receive a goodie package from them, and of course I said yes. So this was one of the sets that I got. It is really cute. It's a great size, great price point, and really adorable image. Like I said, I just fell in love with that naughty or nice because that's just so perfect when it comes to Christmas, and is a question that is asked frequently around our house, is if they're naughty or they're nice. So I had to make one with this sentiment. So you can see I, as far as the coloring, had done the skin tone, and then I also went in and did the hair. Now I'm starting with the red, and I actually started with the R29 and then R35 and R32 as the lightest color. I did want to deepen up my shadow area a little bit, so I did reach over and bring in an R59, and that really helped giving that little bit of shadow. So you can see, like I said, I like to use 4. I'll start out with 2 or 3, and then if I think it needs a little bit more shadow, I'll grab a darker one to throw in there just to give that contrast a little bit better. So I'm doing the girl elf, her dress and her booties, and then I'm doing the candy cane. As far as light source, I really had no idea where my light source would be at this point. The girl, she is facing to the right, so that one I did kind of want to have the light source coming from that direction. The candy cane, I really had no idea where I was going to put that yet. It was just really cute. I wanted to put a candy cane in my card. And so for coloring the white part of the candy cane, I'm only using C3 and C1 just at the very edge. I don't color the whole thing in all the way because I want to leave white to give the illusion that it's white. But white does have shadows. For the little stripe on her hat, I used the Y19 and Y11. I try to use my colors throughout my images so I don't have a lot of markers sitting on here. And as far as that little naughty or nice meter that somebody is going to be holding, I just threw in color. I'm not worrying about shading on that because it is so small. Now for my boy elf, my darkest color is going to be the YG67. The mid-tone is the YG17, and the lightest is the YG25. I added shadows as far as his outfit. I just kind of put them under the arms. To me, that's the first place I'm going to add a shadow, so that's kind of my default. And like I said, since I really didn't have a light source in mind, I added a little bit of the darker colors to each side of him so that it was lightest in the middle. Excuse me. And then I'll do N4 and N2 for the belt and the shoes. And because some of them are so small, I'm not even really blending out. I'm just adding those 2 colors and letting that darker color do the work, showing a shadow. And just laying down some color on that little meter. Now for the present, I wanted to have kind of a teal-ish looking present. So I came in with BG07, BG15, and BG21. Now I color heavy. I try to lighten up. It doesn't always work. And with this color combo, it might be just my markers are really juicy, or I just really should have stopped blending. but it did start to bleed into my ribbon a little bit. I think just because BGs for me are really hard to blend together for the style that I like to do. So for my ribbon, I wanted it to be pink, but because I had so much ink in there and it bled, the pink wasn't covering it up. So I came in with some of the reds that I already had sitting out to try and hide that bleeding a little bit. And that seemed to work out. Then I'll come in and die cut these out with the coordinating dies that you can purchase. I will have all of these listed down below in my video description and on my blog as well, so you can always check these out. These would make really cute gift tags or even little notes from a certain somebody if they visit your house around Christmas season. I think these would be really cute to add to a little note. So I'm just holding those down with some Post-it tape, and I'll run that through my die cut machine. Now for the main portion of my card, I'm using the Lawn Fawn Nitpicky paper pack. I still have a lot of this, so I thought it would be a great card to use it. I also die cut the scalloped rectangle out of some white cardstock. And I also did it out of another piece of pattern paper from that Nitpicky pack. It's hard to see on camera, but it's like a light gray with little hearts in it. I had white in there in the beginning, and it was just too much white. I wanted something in that background. So that's where I cut out another one to have that grayish piece back there. It was just some sort of pattern back there for me. And I really liked how that looked. So now I'm just going to take my images, kind of line up what I want to do, where everything is going to go, and where I want to place a sentiment. So I'm taking a look and just making sure that this sentiment I want is going to fit. You could add more sentiments to them to kind of combine this and make an entire sentence, but I just really liked naughty or nice. So I'm just going to leave it as that. I'm using a black piece of cardstock that I prepped with an anti-static powder tool, and ink that up with some clear ink and stamping that down, and then I'll heat emboss this with some white embossing powder. And this is really going to stand out nice on top of my card, so on my card front. And I'll just heat that up, and that white just really pops. I'm going to use an everyday sentiment banner die to die cut out that sentiment. And so I'm getting an idea where I want this to go on my card. I don't want to cover up my image too much, but the background was just missing something. I felt like they were just kind of floating in that middle piece. So I went ahead and just cut out a strip to add at the bottom out of some brown cardstock. And I felt a lot better about it. It just kind of grounded them a little bit. I could have added a little bit of shadow underneath that too, but having that brown cardstock at the bottom half just really grounded my images, made me feel like they were in a scene, you know, maybe in a Santa's workshop. So once I had my main idea ready, I'm going ahead and attaching everything together. So there's my floor for my picture frame. And what I'm doing for the girl is I decided I wanted her to hold this candy cane, so I'm just cutting a little slit where her hands are and underneath her one arm. So that way I can tuck that candy cane in and she's really holding it. I kind of had to twist it a little bit and finagle it so it did fit, but it worked out really great. And I'm just using some liquid glue to attach that and hold that in place until I get her on my card. And this is where tweezers really help, is that way I'm not grabbing anything I shouldn't and bumping it and making my candy cane fall off. Then just adding a little bit of glue underneath that candy cane and really holding that in place. Then I'll go through and finish my scene here. So I have the boy elf, and he'll be holding the naughty or nice meter. And then adding in that present, and that was just something extra to have in the scene. Then I'll take my banner and just trim that down. And I'm actually going to add a little bit of foam tape behind it and kind of pop it up a little bit. And I decided to put that towards the bottom part of my frame. That way it's still part of the scene and not covering up too much of my colored images. I have a little extra piece there I needed to add on the end to make sure that strip was even all the way across. I also thought this needed a little bit of sparkle, so I'm coming in with a shimmer pen and just adding some shimmer to my candy cane. And I'll actually take a white gel pen and I'm going to add little dots to her dress and her hat. So you could look at this as polka dots or as sparkles. I just thought she needed to have a little something to her dress. And that is going to finish up the card. So thank you very much, Heffy Doodle, for sending me this goodie package. This is a super fun set to play with. I hope you all enjoyed watching this process. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll catch you in the next video.